Tennessee Homestead. How the heck are you? Sorry to being so late on these videos. I spent 3 days now arguing with this platform over a video. It was a very simple video. It had about a 2 or 3 minute audio from a doctor who handled the lab work at a major uh, metropolitan hospital. He started getting kind of confused of why, when the CDC came out with their numbers, we had no flu season this year. None. No cases of just the standard flu. And he started testing for regular flu, even though it was set up for just a pandemic flu. And he started finding out that sometimes they'd have the virus, environmental stuff in their nose, no signs of it in their blood work, and they were showing the where their body was beginning to fight off the regular flu. And also they could find the flu virus. And he was also talking about the levels of this pandemic flu. He said it could go anywhere depending upon the variety, and there's numerous varieties out there. Can go from anywhere from like a bad cold to an extremely mild flu, tired, run a little fever, kind of like what I had, lose some of the taste in your mouth, things of that nature. Or it can try to kill you. Different strains. So, with that being said, I thought that'd be good information to get out to you, because New York Times had just came out where they were saying that like 90% of all these swab tests they were doing for this virus, CDC had reported that 90% of them were coming back as false positives. Okay, so Houston, we have a problem, right? And with everything else, with the deaths per thousand, yabba yabba, it just didn't add up. And pretty much the case. For the last 3 years, the amount of people that's passed away in this country has remained approximately the same when you look at the deaths per thousand. Okay, we've had no huge population booms. So, take it for what it's worth. Last thing I'm going to say on the topic. Don't care. If you haven't gotten out and done your own research and start tracking this stuff and know that you're being lied to, that's on you. I've done everything I can do for you. Washington, D.C., this nonsense that went on. The organizers of that event, I firmly put this nonsense that went on at their feet. Antifa was publicizing all over the country that they were sending members there to infiltrate that crowd and to cause a problem. The gentleman with the buffalo head and all that kind of stuff that was in there in the chambers, pictures of him are also on the Philadelphia Antifa. Most of those guys that was in that room with him, Antifa. So, but then you have these folks they knew that Capitol building was off limits to them. And that's where the organizers should have been standing there telling these people, do not enter that building. We don't care how many people just ran in there. You do not. Cost a young veteran her life. That was smart. And made the whole thing that they were trying to do there null and void. Because it all ended right there. And then people want to say, oh, that was the government's plan all along. Well, don't get me wrong. It wouldn't surprise me for the Democratic Party. I don't know why I keep calling them Democratic Party, because the last thing in the world there is Democratic. Fascists, yeah, I'd go that. Democratic, no. Other than they do want, 16-year-olds and 10-year-olds to vote in the election, I'm sure. Because, and if I was a Democrat, I would take offense to the fact that Democrats pride themselves on getting low information voters. They think their voters are dumb. Because you're voting yourself into a hole. Green New Deal, it'll bankrupt us. Medicare for all. It'll bankrupt us, and trust me, Medicare's not all that hot of a deal. They can't pay this stuff, folks. They're broke. Not only are they broke, but they're so far in the hole that it would take an entire generation. All the GDP this country could put out for an entire generation just to get us down to zero debt. Not ever going to happen. Okay? Sooner or later, it all falls apart. And when that little fiat dollar flies off into the sunset, you guys, okay, don't worry about your car because you ain't going to be driving it. Don't worry about your high electric bill because you ain't going to have any electric. All that's going to crumble around you. And you'll have to run back to the government for help, but don't worry. They're going to need a lot of food, so they'll give you a hoe and put you out there in the fields because there's no tractors. You know? It's all coming at you. And guess what? They've been planning it for years. Yeah. Go for it. I'm going to sit up on top of a mountain somewhere. And until they come get me, okay, they're going to have to come get me. And I guarantee I'm going to see how many I can roll up in the body count when they head that direction. Pretty good at that. I've learned some real tricks over the years. Anyway, so we screwed up the thing in Washington, D.C. because the organizers of it, and I put this at the feet of the organizers, did something pretty stupid by not informing those groups. This is something you don't do. They should have been up there by them doors going, oh, no, you don't. Okay? And then, like I said, it cost a young veteran her life. Well, I'm sick of it. You know, it has taken a while because I finally got out of it and I've gotten my patriotism back. Yeah, it really did. And it's taken took a long time, folks. A long time. Matter of fact, longer than a lot of yous were alive. Because, like I'd had people tell me, and at times they'd look at me, they'd get into talk about patriotism and, you know, all this kind of nonsense. And I had a good friend of mine who kept saying, you can look in your eyes. And he says, I see the anger well in it. I told him most Americans aren't worth the powdered dick to blow them straight to hell. Worthless. Coming home, what helped formulate that opinion, talking with the gentleman on the flight, and then helped him down off of the flight, lost both of his legs saving a friend. Got blown off by a mine. But he saved his friend's life. He was well decorated. He was rolling out off the tarmac when some little girl was hollering at him. She's cute as a button. Guess that's why he wanted to go talk to her. And I went over there and she was asking, how did you lose your legs? So he started to tell her. Well, that's when her boyfriend stepped around her and spit in the kid's face. Well, needless to say, I grabbed the kid, the guy. He was turning a little blue with his windpipe crushed. 2 cops grabbed me and started dragging me off. All my friends thought, man, he's headed to jail. They were surprised when they found out they just dragged me outside the airport and said, don't go back in there. So that was my welcome home. And then watching the news and seeing the protesters and listening to the people and so forth. I really didn't think much of Americans. I thought you worthless POSs. Now I was, part of the Veterans Against the War and things of that nature. But whenever these hippie suckers would try to, our current Democratic Party, pretty much, try to throw an arm around you going, oh brother, I'd turn away from them. You ain't nothing but a damn coward, though you are. I can bitch I had my ass in the grass. You get the hell away from me. See, I knew the evils of the war. But even worse than that, I knew the cowardice of Americans. You got a lot of these militiamen running around, we're going to do this, we're going to. Okay. There are a few groups that could probably pull it together. And may have to, because elections just disappeared in 2020. They really did. Here's my suggestion to you. In 2016, I voted for a Republican. Something I didn't usually do. I would vote Libertarian pretty much all the time. One, because I thought the Republicans and the Democrats were like, uh, you know, two big piles of crap with a different flag stuck in the top of each one. Now I'm pretty convinced I was right. It was foolish for doing otherwise. And there is one Republican, and I'm going to make an official declaration of, that I will vote for. And that is Marsha Blackburn out of Tennessee, because she stuck to her word. And she was willing to fight at those hearings. But you guys, these people that were there took that away from them. So, what can you say? The thing I'm trying to tell you is the death of the Republican Party should have happened the other day. That should be all of them. If you people vote Republican ever again, turn your back on them people. Most of you Democrats, you darn sure need to turn your back on those criminals. This is not a game. This is who runs your country. And right now we have some illegitimate, yes, YouTube, I said that, half brain dead clown with dementia. Start talking to some nurses, they could tell you. Yeah, he has all the classic signs. Okay? Which they plan to get rid of. Trust me on that. Kids are going to get your socialism. Yeah, that's great. I think it's wonderful. Okay? I really and truly think it's wonderful. Because you're going to be the ones paying for this. Yeah. Do yourself as a favor, children. Don't have any kids. Okay? Because the world you're about to leave them, they'll be cursing your name for the hell they've been going to have to live through. Socialism didn't work. Nowhere, no point in history, ever. So if you do decide to have children, understand you've committed those children to slavery. Because Americans are not going to stand up and fight for you. Just not going to do it. Okay? I know I wouldn't pick up arms. Like I said, the only time I'll put up a fight is when they come for me. Which may happen or may not. I'm an old dude. Yeah, I ain't got a long to still be farting around out here. But good luck with it all. As far as the channel goes and so forth, I'm going to be talking cows, chickens, and homesteads. This platform has become so politically correct that there's no point in it. Now, I'll probably be moving, I doubt very seriously I do barn chats on this channel anymore. Because barn chats is usually where I discuss political issues. And, but I'll put those over on Rumble. I really do. I'm not a big channel. It's not like I make any real money off of this channel. And it takes too much time. It eats up too much time. And to be honest with you, quite frustrating. But my recommendation is Georgia. There's a place I'd start. I wouldn't buy crap that comes out of Georgia. I wouldn't go there for vacation. I would have nothing to do with that state. Okay? Because the politicians down there allowed this. Michigan, Pennsylvania. Like I said, I'm not going to start a boycott on the things, so I'll leave that to somebody else that really gives a damn. When that little girl got shot, I was done with this whole mess. That was sad. I would take these states that were involved in this, Nevada, New Mexico, Arizona, so forth, right on down the line, and I would put together a list of what products, if any, are manufactured there, come through there, made there, whatever, and just don't do business with them anymore. Not going to put the state out of business by any stretch of the imagination. Pennsylvania's done themselves. Okay, because now when they start cutting off the fossil fuels and fracking and all that kind of stuff, that they did themselves. Okay. Georgia, y'all should have been at your state house kicking in the doors, telling the legislature to get in here and he fixes now. Pennsylvania, same thing. Michigan, there ain't no hope for Detroit. Okay, no hope for them. So, but I would advise you, Toyota makes a great truck. They really do. It's a great truck. Nice cars. Honda makes good cars. There's a lot of manufacturers that come out of places like Tennessee and so forth. Detroit selections have been hosed up for as long as I can remember. 2016 was really bad. I mean, they had to throw a bunch of them out. Amazing that they'd throw a bunch of them out during Trump's election, but they won't throw any out after that, would they? Yeah. I'm so sick of the politics of this country. Whew, man. If I was a rich man, I'd be on my way out of this country. Turn my back on it, dust off, and never have anything else to do with it. But not a rich man, can't afford that. So the best I can do is find myself a mountaintop and hide on it. But like I said, I'll continue to help out with homesteading and things of that nature and utilize the other channels, but I'm done. If you want to hear me rant and rave about the stupidity of all this stuff, because good Lord, Joe Biden's going to provide so much extra information. He's a mess. Entertainment, if nothing else. That'll be over at Rumble. Love you guys. I appreciate you. Back when Newt Gingrich was in office, and they got in there with the Contract for America. Oh, they were going to give term limits, and they were going to do this, and they were going to do that, and they were, And then when they got in there, they went, well, the Democrats didn't do it. Democrats didn't promise to do it either. I've held that against Newt Gingrich since the day he opened his mouth. That was the last time I voted Republican, by the way, until 2016. And I probably wouldn't have voted 2016 Republican if not for my guy didn't get onto the ballot in Tennessee. Yeah. And I was standing there going, I don't know this other person they stuck on the ballot. I thought, well, yeah, I've heard some decent things that Trump has said. Maybe he'll do okay. Video's out there. Yeah, go take a look at it. I was like, don't know. Give him the benefit of the doubt. Let's hope he does. It'd been years since I'd voted for a Republican. Now, I can assure you one thing. I will go to my grave before I vote for another one. This is Rich from Tennessee Homestead. Love you guys and appreciate you. I hope you've learned something from this. Politicians are all liars. And they got a nice little girl killed because of their lies. Try to remember her. And whenever you think for 30 seconds and start listening to anything that one of these lying politicians let fall out of their mouth, remember that little girl. Okay? As she laid there bleeding out on the floor. Remember her. That she was there because of lying politicians. On both sides. Democrats with their crooked election, and the Republicans just lying. But for God's sakes, Kentucky, if you don't fire Mitch McConnell, somebody needs to go up there and light your state on fire. Whew, good Lord. That man is the worst of the worst. He needs to grow a chin. No chin. Anyway, y'all have a wonderful week. I'll be getting some more up next week. I'm going to try to get back on regular schedule because I'm going to make them so generic that I don't have to worry about fighting with this platform anymore. I'm done fighting with them. And if they start giving me garbage over those, look for me at Rumble. God bless you. Good luck with all this. This is Rich Jesse. I'm Take care.